I don't know. I can't help to think, like, why? Why didn't any of you check up on her? Like, why didn't you at least see? After the blood was spilling, right?
Yeah.
None of you cared except for that one guy.
Yeah.
Why? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. If you were here last week, interesting discussion. And I already know, even before I see the comments, there's going to be some people coming after us. Did you see what he said here? You guys did. I don't give a shit. Okay? We're not going to talk.
The factoids, the things he said, yes, it's written. And for us, we don't know the guy. You don't know him either.
Yeah.
You know, I think the man's gone. The only thing is for his kids who can only read shit about him now.
Yeah.
And they'll see that stuff he said.
Yeah.
And they'll have to come to terms with who their father was. That's not up to us.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, let's talk about something really light. So there was this train. Look, I know, like, this is such a, like, this podcast is very interesting, right? Most of the time it's like, it's just stuff that is kind of floating in my head. So you never know what you're going to get with this pod. And when we talk about these things, it's not from an expert lens. Literally, you are just a fly on the wall with people discussing thought, right?
Yeah.
Whether you think I'm smart or dumb, most likely you should think that I'm dumb. And I'm not saying...
Genius Brain is actually supposed to be like... irony,
yes,
because
irony.
You said it when you're not smart.
So one of my teachers in high school used to call me Genius Brain because this person was calling me an idiot.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's called Genius Brain. I feel like I represent the majority of people in this world, hopefully, like where we just have some smart thoughts here and there, but we just like to laugh and have a good time.
Yeah.
Right. So speaking of laugh and have a good time, the trains. This was interesting, right? This is all happening all at once, right? And last week we talked about the whole Charlie Kirk thing. And now we are talking about something else that's also very deep, but at the same time, almost unreal.
Yeah.
She was a doctor. Was she?
I think she was I thought she was a student.
A student, maybe a
nursing student.
Yeah, nursing student, something in the medical field.
Yeah, but she was working at a fast food joint or something.
Yeah. And she was curled up in a ball on a train, and there was a gentleman behind her that decided to take her life and stab her to death. And
I didn't see the video. So at least I had some semblance of not wanting to watch.
I didn't see the video. What I saw was I didn't see the stabbing video.
Yeah.
I can't watch that.
Yeah.
It's just, even if people said it's not bad because she looked like she didn't know what was going on because of the adrenaline and the shock.
And she like died slowly. But like, I don't want to see that shit either. Doesn't make it better.
It's so much to think about with this, right? About what people view of each other, right? This guy who's very mentally unstable stabs this woman up multiple times. And there are like 4 witnesses, I believe, that are sitting there doing absolutely nothing.
And this happened in North Carolina?
It was on a train somewhere. I don't remember that specific.
Yeah.
I didn't go that deep into it, right? But just for me, I don't think the details matter. That's the detail that I didn't really care about, right? Where it happened. I just knew it was in the United States.
Yeah.
She's a Ukrainian immigrant. Refugee. Okay. Insane, right? She comes into the country. She flees this warring country. She comes here and she gets stabbed to death.
Yeah.
And what's horrific about this for me, right? And I'm not saying this from a place of judgment, okay? It's a very scary situation when somebody has a knife who's mentally unstable, right? I'm not saying these people should be heroes. They should walk up and they should have taken him down. That's not my place to say. I don't know how I would have reacted.
Yeah.
The issue lies in how long they didn't do anything. None of them, except for one person, after she's bleeding out to death in a pool of her own blood, comes up and checks on her to see if she's okay.
Oh my gosh.
They all watched this woman die in front of her for a very, very long time. And this started blowing up as a race issue now, right? Because the conversation that people were having was, if this was the other situation where it was 4 white people and it was a black woman being stabbed by a mentally deranged white person, the whole country would be up in flames. Now, in my personal opinion, I think for a lot of people, right, that is an assessment that should be taken in. in my personal opinion, right? I think that is a fact. Of course, the country would be in uproar. There are a lot of racial issues within this country, and it would reflect what a lot of people feel.
That context of our country and the state it's in is important to this situation.
100%.
Yeah.
So, yes, you are 100% right. Now, what I think about in this situation too is just like, is once again, it goes into this idea of just like how hateful people can be, right? When I saw those people just watch her, I kind of want to interview them. I want somebody to speak to them because I want to know what was going on in their head, right? If they can even elaborate. Was it, I was so scared I didn't know what to do. It was so fast we didn't know she was hurt. It just looked like this guy just came up and started pushing her or punching her, and we didn't see, because from the video that I saw of her, not the part where she was, bleeding out, I saw when he came, he went like this.
Yeah.
In the video, I didn't know what was going on, right? And then she kind of just stood like this, like scared. What would I have done in that situation is what I started to think, right? Because before I start placing blame on somebody else, I have to put myself in that situation as well. And then I had to think, have I been in a situation where I could have done something? And the only thing I went back to was when I saw a bike being stolen. And by the time I reacted to the bike was gone. All right? So it was literally in front of a Jamba Juice in South Pasadena. Somebody stole this bike, and I just watched the whole thing happen. And the guy just went off, and I went, hey! You fucking idiot. The guy's gone.
Yeah.
And then, and they call that the bystander effect, right? Like where you kind of assume somebody out, like your immediate reaction is like, the bystander effect is when you think that somebody else will do something in your place so nothing really happens, right?
Yeah.
And
like, is this on me right now?
Yeah.
Me?
And there's this other phrase too, I don't know what exactly it is, but it's basically where you start to rationalize what's happening with the normalcy in your life, right? In your normal day-to-day, you don't see people just run up and steal a bike from Jamba Juice. So your brain doesn't know what to process.
Right.
So you're just processing like, is this bike being stolen? Is it their bike? No, that has to be their bike.
What was that all about?
Yeah, what was that all about? Wait a second. I think that bike was stolen.
Yeah.
Wait, I should do something. This is terrible. Hey! 12 minutes later.
Yeah.
So then I started to think, is that what they were doing, right?
You're taking a shower the next morning. Wait a minute.
Yeah, what the fuck? That was my bike.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't help to think, like, why? Why didn't any of you check up on her? Like, why didn't you fucking at least see? After the blood was spilling, right?
Yeah.
None of you cared except for that one guy.
Yeah.
Why? Why? I'm constantly thinking about that. Is it a racially charged thing? And people are like, why would you even bring race into it? Because the man repeatedly said, I got that white woman. I got the white woman. I got the white woman. It wasn't racially charged because people wanted it to be, per se. Maybe they did. But once somebody mutters over and over after they murdered somebody, I got the white woman, it's now racially charged, 100%.
Yeah, even if I imagine if I was there and I was like, hey, like as it happened and he had a knife, I don't know what I'm going to do even there.
It's like, oh shit, I'm going to get stabbed
Yeah,
too.
I'm going to get stabbed too.
Right.
I think, and I understand where everybody's like, the fuck, did he just punch that girl?
Yeah.
What the heck is going on kind of thing?
Yeah.
Whether it's the shock or of what the fuck, or it's like just another fucking crazy day in my life.
Yeah.
Maybe they're used to seeing that shit, which is a horrible case for our country, It reminds me of, remember Joker? The moment where he breaks is on the subway because these yuppies, like Wall Street guys, are bullying him and picking on him until he shoots him and kills them, and then he dances and becomes the Joker, right? And I started to feel like a lot of these conservative men loved the Joker, even Korean men, over Parasite that year, because they were saying, Parasite's a Marxist, liberal, socialist message or whatever.
Yeah.
And the Joker is actually speaking on the state of men in America, right? That incident actually happened in the 80s, like late 70s where Joker is set because, it's a reflection. They're saying how bad Gotham got. New York City got that bad in that era.
Oh.
Late 70s and 80s. The subway was not safe, right? And these 3 black teens, I think, held up this white dude or were picking on him and bullying him. I forget, but he shot the 3 of them dead in the train and he got away with it. And he lived the rest of his life. And any time someone wanted to interview him, he was happy to talk about how he killed them. Yeah. So I thought it was pretty sick the way they used that in the Joker.
Yeah.
But that's why that made those early 70s or late 70s, early 80s gangsters of New York. They started this protection gang in the subways from people, so shit like that would stop happening.
Oh shit!
They had to enforce it themselves. These, other gang members.
That's crazy.
Because the police wouldn't step foot underground.
That made me now that makes me also think now too. It's like, have we just not gotten better as a society?
Yeah.
Like, is this just the same shit that keeps repeating over and over and
to
over?
To say this is unprecedented is not correct. Yeah, it has happened.
That is so fucking horrific, dude.
Yeah.
And it's just like, now, then it also goes into this thought. It's like, dude, maybe I want to know less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I want to know less, right? Because just in the last podcast, we talk about how the things that we absorb and that we consume on a daily will change and shift our view of the world. And every time I hear and see this stuff, I lose a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the facts, right? I lose hope in humanity. The fact that we see we are not mourning the death of that Ukrainian girl. Instead, we are talking about other things that are so racially abusive towards like black folk, white folk, everything, right?
Yeah.
It's like the point is being missed here. You know what I mean? And I think one of the things too that I see constantly, and this is not a moral standpoint, this is just to give people a little bit of insight into why. I've seen a lot of people write posts about Charlie Kirk dies, everybody's in a big uproar in the United States, but there
was a school shooting the same day.
Yeah, there's thousands of kids in Palestine that are dying, right? Well, that's just a psychological thing that people care about more stuff that's happening in their own backyard than somewhere else. That's it. That's not a morality thing per se. It's just like,
I understand why
they're not as there's not as much fervor about it because it's so detached from who they are on their daily. They don't see and understand what's happening over there, so they can't associate with it. This happened in their backyard, like in the country. So yeah, there's going to be more media attention about it. So that's why it feels more real, because it can happen to them. So maybe that's just a part of human psychology, right? So if I told you right now or somebody else, like, hey, you hear this stat all the time. There are children starving in America every day, or there are children are you crying about it?
Yeah.
You're not, because it's out of sight, out of mind, right? That's for most things, right? But having somebody assassinated in your country, like in a state that's a few spots, that's not out of sight, out of mind. That's right in front of your fucking face, right? Not to say that people shouldn't be empathetic about the things that are going around the world, but if you're asking why the intensity is a lot higher, that's why.
Yeah.
You know? And then you go, well, there was these kids that were killed. Of course. It's so fucking tragic, right? I understand that. But he is this huge political figure. That's why it's bigger.
This is affecting all of us.
That's why it's just common sense. He's this big political figure that has a name to him. That's why it's bigger, right? Yeah. It's not anything else, anything more, anything less or anything more.
It doesn't take away from your tragedy and your pain.
It just sucks that that's how the human psyche works.
I'm sorry the attention was taken away.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away from when people were feeling for you last week.
It's just like, too, even like I wonder if people think about this too, where there are these like school shootings that happen. Like, are you guys now at that stage where it keeps happening so often that you're just desensitized now?
I can admit I am.
Yeah. I feel sadness, but it didn't feel the same as, not as in I don't care, right? But when Sandy Hook happened, I remember I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, I remember when Columbine happened.
Columbine happened?
I was in 8th grade. This kid showed up the next day to school in a trench coat. And the thing is, those kids called themselves the trench coat mafia. And that's how they got around. And then so this kid heard about it and wore a trench coat to school, and they expelled him.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then it was there was nothing like that before. Yeah, for sure. It's to this day, it's kind of hard to understand how nihilistic these kids were in the 90s.
Yeah.
When I look back at the 90s very fondly. But if they were the first, but man, the increase, something's happening.
And it's not like I haven't experienced some of these people myself. I don't know if I told the story on this podcast, but when I went to UCR in the dorm that I was in, there was this guy. It was an Asian kid that was so fucking weird. And guess what? I was super nice to him because I was scared shitless.
Right.
Right? And that's not even a fucking joke. I know like people have said it like in jokes or like stand up before. Nah, I did that for reals.
Right. Because he had a little foresight, like this kid might shoot up to school.
You know how dumb people are? This fool, on like the first week of school in Riverside, this fool had like a pellet gun, like a pellet rifle. He shot a rabbit and he skinned it in the dorm room.
What?
Bro. And so his roommate was a little freaked out.
Yeah.
He looked into his room, like his closet, because this fool was like making like a makeshift pipe bomb.
Come on.
And so like campus police came on, they arrested him and they took him out.
Yeah.
And all I thought was, shit, he was my friend. I didn't fucking, y'all fucking treated him weird, not me.
Right.
I said good morning to this motherfucker every day. I was like, morning, man. He was like, morning. He was super cool with me. But y'all would have died, not me. But I'm saying like I've experienced these weird ass things too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I fucking completely forgot about that shit.
I found a shooting threat, or like a bomb threat, shooting threat in a TI-86 calculator. So I remember I had my own, but for some reason, there was classroom ones that the teacher wanted everyone to use because it had the same format, whatever, right? Boop, open mine, and it says 8 a.m. cafeteria, 8:05 this classroom, 8 something the gym, and then after every timestamp it says boom, 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 bam. Like I'm like, oh fuck! And I just went to the teacher, and then he says, just be quiet, right? And then I'm sitting there in class, and he leaves, and then my next classroom, the cops come and call me out of the class. And they interview me about all of that. And then here's the fucked up part. They're like, who do you think did it? I'm like, in my class, I don't know. There's a goth kid. And then there's this kid, he makes jokes. I don't know. Right? And I go back. That other kid was in that same class with me. Oh, so they called him after. And he was like, did you say I did it?
Oh my God.
I'm like, these fucking cops. God damn it.
Well, how did that conversation go?
Yeah, no, I was like, dude, they asked me. I was like, I don't know. I said, I just thought you were, we make jokes. He was like, good thing he was my friend at least. Yeah. And I was like, you motherfucker.
I was like, dude, I was making a joke. And they didn't get it. Dude, in high school, I remember, I don't know why I did this, but, I know why. So there was a teacher, I think he passed away now. I'd be surprised if he was still alive. He was so fat.
Okay.
Well, he was already old. Yeah. And he was like, I shit you not, he was like 400 pounds.
Right.
But he was the AP World History teacher or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I was in AP classes because my parents forced me to. I had no idea what AP classes were.
Right.
Right.
It just means it's harder?
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Either way, he hated me.
Yeah.
He was actually the Sacramento historian as well.
Oh, okay.
But basically, me and my buddy, we had these things where it was like partner tests, where you take home tests, and you could do it with a partner. And my best friend, Gabo, we were partnered up. And I don't know what I was doing, but I was like, fuck this fool. Right? I was just writing shit on the Scantron, as a joke. I forgot to erase it. Right? And so, Gabo turns his shit in, but I wrote it on Gabo's Scantron. And it said, fuck X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And he comes up to him and he's like, Gabo, did you write this? I guess he told me afterwards. I didn't know. And he goes, did you write it? You know, obviously Gabo's like, I did not write that because he liked Gabo.
Yeah.
Right? He goes, well, who did? And I think he knew who did it. Right?
Right.
Which was me because I openly hated this motherfucker.
Yeah, and you were obviously his partner.
Yeah. And Gabo's like, I have no idea.
I got hacked.
That's my motherfucking best friend right there, dude. Never ratted me out. And he goes, no clue. He goes, I think you know. And God was like, I have no idea.
Oh,
right? Gosh. That right there, that's why you need fucking loyal best friends, dude. That's my best friend, dude. Yeah, fuck you, you fucking fat fuck.
That also reminds me, my friends.
Not fat as an insult. I only say fat because I too was a very large man. And I just hate this guy. That's all, right? Fat is not really an insult. All right, fuck
just
him.
Are.
Yeah, he just is, and he just happens to be that large man.
Was.
Yeah, he was so mean to me.
But that reminds me of when my friends came over, and for some reason we just thought that was a good time to smoke cigarettes. But you know, we have a whole backyard, all this shit. For some reason, we smoke cigarettes in our bathroom. And for another reason, I can't understand, we didn't flush down the toilet. We just threw it away in a Pepsi bottle, right? And then we put it in the trash. Well, my mom hired this cleaner who was a customer at her store to come clean our home. This lady dug through the trash because we put it, you know, in the bottom. It's still dumb. We should have flushed it, but we, you know, 숨겼어. She dug through our trash and found the bottle and brought it to her mom. Like, hey, there's this bottle full of cigarette butts. And then,
what a snitch.
Yeah, right. My mom called me and my brother and then had our dad sit down with us. The whole time, my dad's like,
who cares?
Smiling. He doesn't give a shit.
Of course your dad doesn't give a shit.
And then my mom's like laying out just like, was this when... you know, Kwani and Joseph and all of them came over. You guys are smoking, huh? Do I have to call their parents? And then my dad was like, oh, that was me. I was smoking in their bathroom. And she was like, well, then why didn't you flush down the toilet? She was like, I was drinking a Pepsi and then I threw it in there. She goes, you drink Diet Coke? You have diabetes. He's like, yeah, that's why I did it. It's me. And she was like, why are you taking a shit in the kids' bathroom? He's like, because of their mana checks. My dad consistently kept covering for us. And me and my brother are like, yo.
Does he love us?
Yeah. My mom's like, it still don't make any sense or whatever. And then my dad was like, he didn't say nothing, he just looked at us and we went back to
I feel
our
like
room.
your dad was happy that you guys are smoking.
Yeah, in some way, like all these checky dudes, just like me.
Just like me, dude. And he just wanted to back you guys up. I like how he doesn't celebrate any of your good stuff that make you good people. But anything that you guys do that makes you a piece of shit, he goes, those are my boys.
Yeah. Speaking, like, I got in a situation at TIG where this big dude was drunk. I'm like talking to my brother, we're smoking a cigarette. I see this hand grab him. Just, yeah, shit, yeah. He's super drunk. And that's when I jumped on him. Because I didn't, you know, this guy doesn't have a knife or a gun or something. And I told that story to my dad. He was so proud of us.
It's like, what's wrong with this guy, man?
Yeah.
It's like, Dad, I graduated. You think you're better than me?
Yeah. That's like, he didn't come to my graduation.
It's like, what the fuck? It's like, Dad, I stabbed somebody. What knife?
God. I came home with a scratch on my nose because I got in a fight. And then my dad he yelled at Ben. Like, he was so mad at him. Like, where were you? He taught him. He was like, next time you throw a punch him in the stomach or the chest, right here, the chin, he'll go to sleep. Dude, we're like 15, 14.
My God, dude. Your dad's definitely a gangpe, dude.
Yeah.
That's some fucking gangster type of
He
shit.
was like, right here, and it's over, okay?
Not even like, why did you get into the fight?
Yeah.
It's just like, why is he still alive?
Like,
is he dead? Why are you here?
He was just so mad.
That's such an old Korean thing too, because my dad did the same shit, and my dad's not even like that, right? Like,
yeah, 목사님?
yeah, like we used to live in these duplexes. It was out in Sacramento, it's an area called 10 Woods. It's fucking ghetto as shit. I'm not sure if it's still like that, but there's a bunch of trap houses around the corner, a bunch of ghetto ass shit. But there's these white kids, you know, just dirty ass little white kids, dirty ass Asian kids, you know, and my dad bought this thing for me at the flea market. It was like this thing that kids were obsessed with. It was like a tube filled with water and glitter inside of it. It was the gayest thing ever.
Did it make noises?
Yeah. We used to have this weird, it's the fruitiest fucking thing you could ever have, right? But all the kids loved it.
Yeah.
So one of the dirty little white kids comes up to us, the dirty Asian kids, because we're all poor, right? Yeah. And he steals my shit, my toy.
Right.
And I come back home and I go to my dad and he's like, where's the toy that I bought you? He's like, the kid took it. He goes, okay. He goes, well, go get it and then you can come back into the house. He closes the door on me. I'm like, what the fuck? Right? So I go over there. Dude, I still remember this shit. I go over there. I get into a fucking big ass fist fight with them. I just started throwing blows. Right? No questions asked. I just wanted to go home. Yeah. Right? Because I was like, oh, I'll never be able to go home if I get this. And I just walk over. I don't know if I ever told like the specifics of it, but basically I see them and they're playing like sword fighting with the shit and it's my toy. Yeah. Right? And they're going, psh, psh, psh. I come over and I just run up to the kid and I grab it out of his hands and I start hitting him on the head with it. Right? No words. I bet you that kid was so confused. Right? But he jacked me though.
Yeah.
Right? And the kid's like, screaming on the floor and his brother's like, hey, that's my brother. He starts running after me. That kid's other brother, there's three brothers. Those two start running after me. I run. And the duplex had this garage that it's manual. You lift the rope. I fucking run and I just slide under it because it was slightly open.
Indiana
and I close
Jones.
it. Yeah, and then they're just hitting it. And then I wait for them to leave. And then I come back out and I go to the door. And my dad's like, okay, you can come in. And that was it. I was like, dude, you're going to risk my life over this fucking glitter stick, dude? So he would just, do shit like that. They're trying to like toughen you up, I guess. But
right.
I think the better thing would be like, hey, let me go talk to them and get the toy back.
Right.
Instead of having me go into a battle royale with 3 fucking white kids. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck, man? Some crazy shit back in there. And when people meet my dad now, they're just like astounded at these stories. They're like, your dad would do that. He's so sweet. Yeah. My dad's like, oh, I'm so old. I need help picking this up and stuff. And sometimes when I see that, I get a little sad. It's just like, oh, damn, you are old. But then my friends don't see it. They're like, damn, your dad looks so sweet. It's like, he's sweet now. His testosterone's gone.
Right.
I'm also 3 times his size.
Right.
So now my dad is just about peace. He goes, oh, he's a peace per. Yeah. I don't like to yell. I just like peace. It's like, well, I wish you were like that when you were fucking throwing office chairs at my head when I was a kid.
Like same when I'm with my mom these days too. It's like she feels very entitled to be in her own world, and nobody else can fuck with it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I feel like arguing about anything is futile. And then I start to see her relationship with my 할머니, and I'm like, oh man, it's the same.
It always stems from somewhere,
bickering.
Man.
Yeah.
Like I recently talked to a buddy of mine on the phone, and I've been, there's a point where you have the evolved version of David So, right? Where when somebody talks to me about their problems, I hear you out, we go through the process, and we do all this other stuff. I'm fine with that. But then when you get me to the other point of like, I don't give a shit about your fucking problems, be prepared. It is the worst, right? And I went in on this literally, it was like 2 days ago. And Mary will see how stressed I was. She goes, what's going on? She goes, why do people always call you up about their problems? Like, I don't fucking know. And so, now I have been talking to this guy for quite a while, right? And then I just had to lay it out to him straight. I was like, hey, listen, man, you're a fucking loser. I was like, do you know that about yourself? Like, you're a fucking loser. Right? I was like, it's always everybody else's problem. It's never yours. I could give you a litany of things that you should be responsible for, but you're always saying, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's not an I don't know. It's you don't want to do it because it's hard, right? And you're waiting for other people to pick you up all the time. Nobody's picking you up anymore.
Right.
Sorry. It's not going to happen. So until you stop blaming your fucking kids, your fucking wife, everything else, these conversations are fucking pointless. Right? You keep saying like, hey, I need some help. I give you the help and then you fucking throw it away and you come back. I'm done. So just like your fucking own family is done with you, I'm done too. I was like, you got nobody. You want to know why? It's because you're the problem. And you never, ever see it that way. So until you figure that out, get the fuck out of my fucking face. Don't call me. Don't ask me for advice anymore. This is fucking pointless. Right? And this motherfucker starts crying. And then I started feeling bad. I was like, oh, fuck. And I was like, why are you crying? Right? And he was just like, I can't get myself out of this hole. I was like, well, there are other issues too, right? You might need to talk to a therapist. I was like, it sounds honestly that I probably didn't help this out. You might be depressed.
Yeah.
It sounds like depression and anxiety, right? And he goes, nah, I don't believe in that shit. And I was like,
oh, come on.
And I just, I'm the
You're not
funniest
going anywhere.
I was like, listen, you think that I am somebody who has his whole life together, and I absolutely do not. I have so much anxiety, you have no idea, right? But I am waking up every day trying to figure out a way to solve this puzzle, right? And it'll never be solved. It just gets better. And I know how to deal and manage it, right? Because you can't recognize that you have this thing that maybe it's not so much labeled as a problem, but something that weighs you down. You haven't defined it. You don't know what to do with it, right? If you're telling me that you're waking up every day and everything feels futile, and when you start something, you just can't get yourself out of bed to do it, you might have depression, bro. I've seen it in my friends. I see it in you. I see it, right?
Yeah.
And at first, then I said, look, I went off on you because now that we've spoken and you said that, now I see it a little bit. Before I thought you were just a dumbass.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, you might be dealing with something a lot bigger, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't get help for it, I can't help you with this.
Yeah, I mean, it took a long time. When I was 30, I was diagnosed with clinical depression. So I just have it all the time.
Yeah.
My life is good.
Yeah,
It's fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, and there are things I have to do on my own because no one's going to coddle me.
Yeah.
No one's going to help me. I spoke on this on JK News way back. Dude, it was like 4 or 5 years ago now. But like, yeah, I came to a point. Have I shared this on this podcast
I don't know.
yet? Okay, so I went to a self-help conference, right? And it got to its days of this, and the first class, like 3-day weekend thing, was so good that I was like, I'm going to sign up for the second advanced quote unquote class kind of thing. And I go to this one, and then something where they called me up to say, like, why are you here in this or whatever? And then it's like, because, I want to better my life, pick up my life, and, figure out a way to work at this gas station because, I left LA from doing video, and I'm having a tough time dealing with that. And then they're like, you make it sound like you're doing some noble thing, right? Like you're here to help your mom kind of thing. They're like, why are you really here? And I'm like, because I tried to kill myself.
Yeah.
Started crying. There's 200 people, right? And then the main speaker comes up and he says, well, Ed, we're not that kind of organization. You're going to have to speak to a real mental health professional. We don't offer that. So we're going to have to ask you to leave.
Yo.
And I'm sitting there like, what? I thought this was a breakthrough. And 200 people are like, huh?
They kicked you out?
They said, go to the back. We'll give you a full refund.
That's hella funny,
And then I
dude.
packed my bags, and then they're like, somebody came and then like wrote me a check. And then I sat in my car for like an hour.
I was like, dude, did I get kicked out of a pyramid scheme?
Seriously.
Even the pyramid
they
scheme?
don't want me? I'm like, yo.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I
dude.
sat in the car and I kind of laughed for a little bit. It's so crazy.
I was like, am I a loser?
Yeah. And then I was like, fuck, nobody's going to help me. Nobody can help me, right? But I can't give up on myself because that means
Yeah.
that exact reason that at least I still had my breakthrough.
Yeah.
You know?
Hopefully this was...
I got more than my money's worth because they gave me a refund.
It's like, thank you. I got a breakthrough and I got a refund. Fantastic. You should go back to the self-help thing and be like...
You guys changed my life.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, like fucking... That's crazy, dude. But yeah, like with this guy too, that we're talking about the stuff and... Because we're talking about how like your dad spoke to you and everything else, how it molded you. And it kind of went into that conversation with him where he kind of grew up in a household where it wasn't very loving.
Yeah.
Right? So he doesn't know how to love.
Yeah.
Which means not only just love other people, he doesn't know how to love himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he hasn't seen it his whole fucking life. Right? And I think like, thank God that his wife is still around. But that was the issue with his wife that they had. They're working on it now. Obviously, he's going through therapy now. Thank God, right? Hopefully, it'll make him. Hope he finds a good therapist, right? And what she was saying that it's like he throws around the word we have to do stuff because we're a family, blah 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 blah. Like this is family, but it's like a key word. But he doesn't behave that way. It's like you don't create an environment where we feel loved, but you keep throwing the word family as a weapon. Right? Like we have to do this because we're family. It's like, but you treat us like shit. Yeah. But for him, it's just he never grew up seeing this thing. And when I told him, like when he started sharing a little bit about like how his like mom and dad were, and they were still together, but like any Korean family, they just stay together just to stay together.
Yeah.
I was like, oh dude, you grew up in a loveless household, right? Which now it explained a lot to me. I was like, now I get you a lot more. You don't know what love is because you never had it given to you unconditionally. Everything was conditional. So for him, he was just like, oh shit. Like, oh, I didn't think about that. I'm like, yeah, well, I was like, that's the end of this session. Now go talk to a real therapist because I don't know what to do. Like, he's like, hey, like, you mind if I call you? I was like, nope. I told him no because I can't help him with this, right? I have to know where my limits are for my sanity. I was like, I could keep diving into this for you, but I'm not equipped for this. You know what I mean? Yeah, we could talk, but this is way deeper for me. Like, this is so deep that I think you actually need somebody who knows how to walk you through this because eventually this is just going to be me calling you gay. Right? Because it's going to be the old-fashioned, like, hey, suck it up.
Right.
And it's not what you need, right? You need somebody to walk you through the pain that you went through. You need somebody to walk you through that your feelings are okay and there are certain parts of your behavior that's not, and they need to help you through this.
Yeah.
I don't have the mental capacity for it. And this fool still, I think he's just so scared, right? He's like, yeah, but you got this out of me, man. Like, you should do this for a living. All right, we're done here. Like,
it's like, I learned this in therapy.
Right, so,
you cheapskate.
Now let's talk about that, you fucking asshole. Like, go talk to somebody. And I told him too, like the last thing I ended on with him is like, I think a part of you too is also scared of change because you also have to recognize that you have bad things about yourself that needs to change. Yeah. Right? And that's also a part of healing. Right? And I said too, thank God your wife is strong as fuck, but people have their limits as well. Right? If you like this, if you keep throwing around this word family, that family's important, then this is important. So go ahead and get that shit done. So hopefully he did. I am going to follow up with him and ask him if he found a therapist, if he's working on it. And if he didn't, then I'm not going to be mad at him. I don't think that's what he needs. Yeah. I'm just going to be like, okay, well, you've made your choices about where you want to be. But I have a feeling he will.
He's got to.
He has to.
But he has to be pointed in the right direction because if I'm hearing what you're saying, yeah, I think he needs a specialist.
He does. Like, I'm not that.
Yeah. It's not like a run-of-the-mill, let me just fucking Google therapist near me. He needs a specialist, and he needs to be diagnosed.
Yeah, and I told him, too, it's like, you feel better now because this was therapeutic, but this is not therapy. It's two different things. It feels good to talk about these stuff, right? And, I have some insight on you because I've known you since we were kids, but it doesn't mean I really know you like that because you don't know yourself like that. And this is like a discovery process for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you go into therapy, don't weaponize it. Don't weaponize it against your wife. Don't weaponize it against me or stuff like that. That's what people tend to do. Just use this as a point to kind of explore what you went through as a kid because there's a lot. Like, I didn't know that your parents were like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you grew up in a pretty loveless household. That's a huge thing, dog.
Yeah, it's a big part.
That's fucking huge, man.
Explains a lot.
Explains a lot about him. Yeah. So this whole week has just been me like picking up phone calls for people. It's like, dude, I need my own mental health, dude. Excuse me.
That's the thing too. I've jumped that. You know, when somebody, an old roommate was pissing me off, I'd be like, why are you like this?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? You know? So when you do this to your parents, how do they respond?
Yeah.
I just jumped the gun.
Yeah.
It's like, does your mom do that? What you just did to me?
Yeah.
You know, does your dad do that?
Yeah.
And then he later told me, he's like, I've never, ever asked that question in my life.
Yeah.
So when you said that, it was like, and then he had just like this existential crisis because he had never thought about it.
That's what I think about a lot in front of like my kid, right? How I behave in front of him is going to shape him for the rest of his life, right? I need to keep it together and be calm, right? And even now, like, you know, when I'm stressed out, I'm like cursing up a storm. I have to do it away from him, right? Not because it's like, and people are like, well, that's life. It's real. No, it's not. That's not life in reality. That's my problems, right? That's my problems I'm putting onto him. It's not life. Life should not be like that.
Dude, one of my group members at school asked to be taken away from my group to switch groups because he doesn't like me.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But then, like you said, that's life.
Yeah.
I had a moment of thinking, what did I do or say? And then I also thought, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
Remember? Who cares?
Yeah.
Who
Who
gives a
cares?
shit?
Enjoy.
You know?
Go be over there.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, if he has a different pace than me, then that's it. It is what it is. I know I'm passing.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing better without him, which I am,
Yeah.
you know, then
You might have been the problem,
yeah,
dude.
thanks. Thanks for taking initiative, bro. You know?
That'd be so bad for him if he goes over there and then they hate him over there too. It's like, dude,
No, I think he does. He doesn't like his new group.
you might be the problem, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Like we might have butt heads, but at least we were getting to the right goal and we're fun.
Yeah.
At least I'm fun.
Yeah. Well, guys, that wraps up this episode of the Genius Brain podcast. You probably like, you should dive more into the train thing. It's like, no, I don't. I'm just talking about it because I'm trying to process it and I don't know what to think about it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what you guys are thinking about it, to be honest with you.
Real quick. The Monday after that happened, someone wrote graffiti all over the bathroom at school. So I'm too old. Freaking justice for Irina.
Oh, it's for her.
And then it says all lives matter. And then F N-words all over the stalls.
Oh my God, dude. What is going on, man?
Yeah. And I'm just like, this, yeah. So you want, we speak on that and then what, how much further are we going to go?
I don't
Talk about how this country is going down the hell.
Dude, this is so fucking terrible, man. Look, the next podcast we have, it'll be a lot more fun.
We promise.
Yeah.
Ish.
Actually, it was pretty fun towards the end.
Yeah.
This one got denied from a cult. This is hilarious. You can catch Genius Brain every Sundays at 12 p.m. and we'll see you all next time. Peace.
Peace.